family, welcome to our channel. My name is Irene. I conceived the very first time and lost that baby to preeclampsia, and shortly after I conceived again. This time round I managed to carry through the pregnancy until the end. At around 6 months we realized she wasn't walking, so we started seeking for answers. We moved from one doctor to another. I'm not going to go through all the story because I've already talked about it in our diagnosis story. I'm going to link it up somewhere in the cards. On that particular day, we visited a pediatrician who instantly recognized that the child had a rare genetic disorder called spinal muscular atrophy. This was a doctor who would tell you everything in black and white. He would not hide anything whatsoever. He outrightly told us that our baby would not live to see her second birthday. By the way, she's 3 years old now. The guy said without empathy and any emotions that we should go for counseling and we should expect the worst. So you can imagine what we parents went through. Our world came crashing down. I was almost due with my second baby. He didn't even care whether I was vulnerable. He just outrightly blurted out the news to us without having to calm us down and maybe have to cancel us. Anyhow, he referred us to run tests to confirm his findings, and it was true when the results came out that the child had this genetic disorder. It was very devastating for me because it was the #1 genetic killer of children. Now, finding out such a diagnosis in a place like Africa is even much worse. I didn't know what to do. All I would do was just cry. I would hope and pray that it was a misdiagnosis, because when we went to different hospitals, they kept on telling us it could be cerebral palsy. Others were saying it could be that she has delayed milestones. So every specialist was telling us a different story until we got to the pediatrician who advised us to go and do testing. Guys, comparison is a thief of joy. I started comparing my child to other children, her age, how they were picking up with their milestones, how they were thriving, and mine wasn't thriving. She was so tiny, even her feeding was so poor. I didn't know how to go about it. Whenever I would look at the child, I would sympathize with her. Every time I would look at my baby, I would just imagine the pain that she's going to go through and having to manage all these things, because this disease affects her breathing system, it affects her walking, it affects her muscles. So you can just imagine. I was in a dark place. I started counting all the things that had happened to me. My first pregnancy, I had lost it, and then now I conceived this baby and I am rewarded with a child with disability. I was so angry with God. People would call me and give me advice and give me support, encourage me, but I just felt like they did not know what I was going through. My world came crashing down into this one ball, and I was in this thing and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help my baby. And even when I would go to the specialists, they would tell us that here in Africa, there is nothing much that we can do. We just have to wait for the baby to die. Just imagine if you're a parent and they tell you that. What comes in your mind? So I had a lot of anger. When people would call me to give me advice, I would just look at them and in my heart I would be like, now what does this person have to advise me? They don't have that kind of child. It is me who is having this child. So what advice can they give me? But you know, they had good intentions. Most of the time they would just pray for me. I just told God, you know what? I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to ask for anything. Every time I would look at the girl, I feel a lot of pity. I feel a lot of anger and pain. And sometimes I would even wish that God had put that on me and not my child. In that period of time, I felt rejected. I felt like I was unlucky with having children. I started losing hair because of depression, and I could not understand. You guys, I would go through 4 straight nights without sleep. Everybody else would go to bed and me, I would remain awake. I would feel like vomiting. I was not understanding myself. You know, I've been hearing other depression stories. I did not know what depression is. You people, depression kills. And I was dying. I would start imagining what she's going to go through. What will her school be like? What will her teenage years look like? Usually after diagnosis, denial is the first stage of grief. I denied the doctor's diagnosis. I actually kept on telling myself that the results are going to come out and the child is negative and that it is just probably a delayed milestone. I even told my husband, you know what? That doctor is just joking. My daughter doesn't have that disease. The more I searched for answers, the more I was not understanding what I was going through. I would get to the internet and start Googling about the condition, and they would say there is no cure for it. There are drugs that just slow down the progression, and these drugs are very expensive. The most expensive drug in the world. Now, just imagine having a child in Africa, in Uganda, with spinal muscular atrophy, and you cannot even afford the drug. Guys, it is very painful. It is very painful to know that there is even a remedy out there, but you cannot afford it. Even in the Western countries, that drug is only covered by insurance. Individuals cannot buy that drug. As if that wasn't enough, I was overwhelmed with physiotherapy appointments. I was overwhelmed with doctor's visits. I have to juggle it with work and family. It was a lot for me to handle. But you know, there is a way God makes our bodies to absorb shock. So all that I would do was to cry. I would stay in my bed for long hours. Sometimes even I wouldn't eat. All the times that I would eat, I would feel like there's that kind of like emptiness. For a period of 6 months, I had to calm down to accept that I had a child who was disabled, a child who needed my support, and in case I lost my mind, or in case depression killed me, nobody would take care of my child like the way I would take care of them. So that gave me the courage, that gave me the energy to rise up. And the first thing that I did was to seek support. I reached out to them. They sent me some information and some care guidelines, because here in Uganda, I would actually approach the neurologists and all they could do was to diagnose my child's problem. But when I would ask them, for example, like breathing gadgets that are available, if they could, for example, recommend them for me, they had no idea. Certain information, when I would share it with them, they thought maybe like I'm a wiseacre, I am undermining them. I would sometimes even suggest certain information to them on how we could care for the child better, but they would act aloof. That was what was going on with me. You know, most of the times when people see you out there smiling, they do not care to find out whether you are okay. Having a child with disability has taught me very many things. It has taught me how to appreciate life. It has taught me how to take one day at a time and celebrate small things that happen in life. So I remember I needed a lot of help, but then I felt like I would connect better with another parent who had a child with the same condition like mine. I don't know if you've ever gone through depression, you really feel like the best person who can talk to you is that person who has gone through the same condition like you. I actually felt like it was unsolicited advice if I got it from a parent who didn't have a child with special needs. They would send me words of encouragement and they would tell me to pray. I would just feel like I was judged. The things that would help me are the things that I felt were judging me at that particular time when I was down low in the pit. When I started talking about my situation, the better I felt. It doesn't mean that you're not prayerful. You're actually prayerful, but at the same time, you don't lose track of the situation that is going on around you, because this child needs help. This child needs all the support that you will need. It is very important that you go to God and ask God to give you grace to take care of the child. So some of the advice that helped me to overcome depression was I decided to seek help and also to talk about my situation. I shared with family members what was going on in our lives. At the same time, I sought a support group that was very helpful. Most parents, when they have a child with a disability, tend to mistreat the child. They deny the child education, they keep them indoors, and they do not leave the child to live a full life. What is different between these children and the other children is that they are just not able to do certain things. That's actually one of the reasons why I started this channel, to create awareness and to encourage other parents who have children with special needs to know that they are not alone. I decided to see things positively. It's okay to be sad about the situation that you're going through, but don't go that path too long. After some time, gather yourself up and start over again. Open up yourself and let the anger come out. This will help you a lot to handle the situation that you're going through better. The energy that you take in is the energy that you're going to give out. So find time for yourself. If it means that you need to be alone and that is what will help you come out of your situation, please go for it. If it means that you go and enjoy the fresh air out there, take a trip somewhere, take a walk, it will do you good, and at the same time, it will do your child good. Also, focus on the positive side of life. I know it is easier said than done because I've been through it myself, but try to focus on those positive things that life offers you. For example, if you've started the day and it has been a good day for you and your child, give thanks and go on. Learn to celebrate the small things in life. What is most important is not the big things, but it is those small things in life. Celebrate them. Cheer your child up. Encourage your child to even overcome more obstacles, and you'll be amazed at what your child can do for you. Your child will not let you down. It does not matter what incapabilities your child has. Trust me on this. I've seen it on my child, and I know it can do you good. I armed myself with enough information just in case I get an emergency. What are the things that I should be able to do at that time? And this helped me to handle the situation better and not stay in this miserable state that was taking me down the wrong path. This encouraged me to know that I can actually take care of this child and this child can live long. Let me know in the comment section below if you've gone through depression. What is your story? It may not be a disability, it may be some other thing in life that pressed you really so hard. And last but not least is, you're not alone. What you're going through right now is something that someone else has gone through before. If you have a positive mind and a positive attitude towards life, trust me, there is no situation that you can fail to overcome. You'll be so much amazed at what you can do. Our bodies are designed to handle the hardest of situations. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you had some lessons to learn from this experience that I went through. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.